I think you're wasting time. Really important point here, wasting money and pigeonholing yourself. That's an English term, basically putting yourself into a category, which is really not needed. And I'm talking about this top end of the bag. Now, I know we'll get this point together. I basically find a lot of golfers, as they go to the top end of their bag, we get a little bit more uncomfortable. Let's take this 4-iron right here. I get it totally. There is so little back to this golf club. We look at it and we just go, ugh. Ugh. I get it, right? Listen to this, right? Think about it, right? If you played any other sport, I've just started playing paddle. Yes, I jumped on the bandwagon. It's basically a sport that's like a mixture of tennis and squash. I digress, that's not my point. But if I was to play paddle with a smaller racket, it would be more difficult. Of course it would. Like, I would be thinking, holy shit cow, yeah, what is going on here? This is really, really hard. So, don't pigeonhole yourself into a club dependent on your handicap. Oh, no, please do not. Let me give you an example, right? You could be a high handicap golfer, or let's say medium to high handicap golfer with a really fast swing speed. You've been told, and you might think automatically, you've got to go for the biggest head in 22 degrees. But that might not be right. Let me give you another example. Like my dad, he's gonna kill me for this. Sorry, Dad. He has a slow swing speed. Sorry, Dad, you're gonna kill me. And he was finding that he'd bought the wrong 22 degree and he just wasn't quite getting high enough apex. What I'm trying to say is the ball wasn't getting high enough to get the maximum carry and control. You know, he came to me 2 months ago, so we're talking peak season, feeling pretty good about his game, and he just kept saying that 180 yards is just a damn right pain for me right now. He was just simply struggling to generate enough club head speed to generate enough spin, so when using the 22 degree club into the green, it was just constantly coming up short. So I said, enough of this. Don't waste your money, don't waste your time, and especially, right, we're probably thinking the same thing if we're paying for lessons, trying to improve our game, and you've not got the right 22 degree, it's all in vain. So my point of today's video, I'm going to show you what club you need depending on your swing speed. This is so important. So many people miss this. We just pigeon yourself a hole into a category. Now, you've also got to think, what are we using our 22 degree for? Is it a club that we're gonna use off the tee? So I guess that could be like a par 3. But I actually honestly think most of us are going to be using this club approach shots into green. So we need it to have some carry. We need it to have some height. And we actually need it to land soft, not just like land and go bye as it passes the flag. Like, that's just so demoralizing. So can you see where I'm going with this? Let's start this test. So the numbers we're going to be bothered about is club head speed, ball speed, launch, spin, carry, and apex. Now I appreciate that is quite a lot right there, but you need to understand this correlation. So this is vital, right? You're gonna go, okay, God, Alex, I wish I'd followed this to a T before now. So you've just seen me start setting up, and all these 3 clubs right here have 22 degrees. 22 degree, 22 degree, and 22 degree. So firstly, I'm gonna hit a shot away with each club and try and get my club head speed around 75 miles an hour. And then you have to see what this does to our data. You have to see it. You know what? I've just got to go on a rant right now. I've been checking the Met Office weather, let me get my phone, all morning, and this is literally meant to be sunny right now. Look at it. Right, anyway, let's start with the iron, 22 degrees. Let's see what numbers we get. Here we go, this is vital. First shot, 4-iron. It's around the 75 mile an hour mark. I think that's gonna be pretty good club head speed. 75.3. I'm actually over the moon with that. Now, this is the key bit. Let's look at this data together. So, carry, 125 yards. Spin, 3,800. Again, club head speed, 75.3. Ball speed, 103. Then if we go down here, there's a few numbers I want you to have a look at. Apex, 42. So really, as you saw that flight, let's watch it again, on the low side. Now, I'm going to put the exact same swing speed on this hybrid right here. And yeah, I've tweaked it so it's exactly 22 degrees. Should have said, I said I would assume most of us are going to use these clubs as approach shots into greens. But let me know, where are you thinking you're going to use this club? Like a 180 mark, is it something you've used more from the tee, like on a par 3, or is it something you use quite a lot into the green? Like, sorry, I should have definitely asked you. I apologise, and I apologise to my dad. I didn't say that enough, I threw him under the bus. Now, we've got the hybrid. Let's put the exact same swing speed on this shot. Yes, I am preferring my lie. I want as nice a lie as possible. 75 miles an hour, here we go. We've hit 73.4, a little bit lower, but this is interesting. Okay, so bear in mind, I just said I swung this a little bit slower than I just did on the 4-iron. Compare and look at this data. So 73.4, 109.8 miles an hour on the ball speed. Let's have a fish around here for the carry. Carry 134, so 9 yards longer with near enough 2 miles an hour less club head speed. Did you see the spin there? The spin was 4,181. The launch 10.8 and the apex 48. Higher. Just think what I'm saying here. Can you see right now that that club there with a little bit of a bigger back on it, same loft, a little bit different tech, whew, in the air a little more. So we've had 2 shots. We've seen the difference between 4-iron to hybrid, and we can see the difference in results. Look at that. I think you can really start to see why I'm saying pigeonholing yourself into a club dependent on handicap is utter bullshit. You can't do that. Let's try and swing around, easy for me to say. Let's try and swing around the 75 miles an hour mark now with this. I actually mishit that a little bit. I think 79, a little bit faster, but wow, so much more. Now I know that was 79. It's actually quite hard to swing that 75. I will hit another one in a second so you can see, but just look at this. 165 carry, 125 to 165. That's unreal. 4,400 spin, 118 miles an hour ball speed. And then look at the apex, 54 feet. We come back to, what are we using this club for? We're using it to go up and land on the green. That's going to allow us to do it. Okay, let me just hit another one, try and get this around 75 miles an hour, just to show you the data a little more. 76.7, that's closer. This is crazy. A 167 carry. Look at the ball speed. Look at the club head speed. Look at the total. So what's actually happening here? Let me grab all shots up here and you can see this. What is actually happening? Well, I need to now hit some at a faster swing speed to show you, but you're probably starting to put the dots together. Look, 166, 147, 131. These clubs are all the same loft, but different in what they provide for different golfers. Remember, round about the same swing speed. Okay, we're now going to hit them all at around about 90, 95 miles an hour. Big difference, around 20 miles an hour, but look what happens. This has just got me thinking, how many shots was this costing my dad? And how many shots is this currently costing you? Okay, let's do it in the same order. Let's start with 4-iron around that 95 mile an hour mark. Woo! That was smoked. 95.8 as well. Absolutely smoked. A little higher. Oh, 93.9. It's close enough. So what's actually at play here? Let's take the first round of results. When we had a slower swing speed, a club with a smaller back and a center of gravity that's closer to the head really diminishes distance and spin. Because a club with a lower CG that's further back allows a little more launch and a little more spin at slower swing speeds, it really benefits you. It gets the ball into the air. So can you see how that is not dependent on handicap? Now I know that's a little bit sciencey, but think about it this way. The back of this club is way bigger than the back of this club, so the CG is lower and further back, allowing more spin to be placed on the ball, allowing the ball to stay in the air longer at lower swing speeds. That's why we saw so much more distance with this. Right now, if you're watching this, please think about this and go, okay, Alex, I am like feeling I'm a slower swing speed player. Should I potentially think about, so I'm just crouching out the wind here. Should I potentially think about going for something with a bigger back and lower CG? The answer to that question is yes, because it's going to help you keep the ball in the air. The 4-iron, really, if you're carrying it at a slow swing speed, or falling over, is actually probably only good for poking it out the trees, when really you could just use anything for that. So yeah, things to think about here. Now, this is really interesting. Let me hit the final one, then we'll run through this data, because it's a little bit interesting. As you go into a higher swing speed, the sort of middle ground on that hybrid can be a strange zone. Now, other things you've got to think about here and take into account, there is more technology in a fairway wood and a hybrid than there is in an iron. Even though they have the same lofts, the faces are a little bit springier. That's why it's a little bit different as you get into higher swing speeds. But you've learned so far, slow swing speeds, look at this data, you can really see right here that if you've got a 4-iron at a low swing speed, you're only, well, you're going to launch it and the apex is going to be seriously low. It's not going to go very far and struggle to hold the green. Whereas you go to a 4 hybrid, it goes up to 45 degrees apex. And then into the 7 wood, it goes all the way up to 69. That's why you're going to be able to hold the green so much more. Now let's look at the data as a whole. Whoa, look at it climb! It's coming down with snow on it. Bang on the mile an hour. So look at these numbers right here. 94.9, 140.9, spin and carry. You can get this right now. You can see the apex on the 4-iron with more club head speed has moved from 36 to 63. More spin at play. We'll show you that in a second. The apex has moved from 45 to 75 in the hybrid, and this is a mad difference. You can see spin and play here. More spin, more height, more apex from 69 to 117. This is interesting. There's more technology at play in the fairway wood and the hybrid face. We've gone from 4-iron at 103 ball speed to 133.5. We've gone from 4 hybrid at 109.8 all the way to 138.6 and 116.4 to 140.9. Now the big one here, the difference is in carry. And this is astonishing. And this is why I don't pigeonhole your hole into a club. This is why I don't pigeonhole yourself into a club. Get my words out. Just look at the difference in 4-iron. That's crazy. So what does all this data illustrate? At the end of the day, you're thinking, how's this going to benefit me? Well, there's actually a few things I want you to take away from this video. Number one, it really shows you that you need to understand what you're going to use your club for. And I think I speak on behalf of the majority of us here, we want it to go relatively high and land soft. So it holds greens going in on par 4s, par 5s, and even used on long par 3s. The next is that the CG position plays a huge role in spin and overall apex. The third thing, and I think this is a really crucial one here, lower swing speeds will favour a lower CG position, so a club with a bigger back. It's also going to be a lot more forgiving. Number 4 on my list, and I've been thinking long and hard about this. As a higher swing speed player, you will see a bigger increase in apex and spin in the lower CG clubs. So for example, over a 4-iron to a 7 wood, you will see a higher apex with a 7 wood over a 4-iron. As a general rule of thumb, swung at the same speed with the same loft. And I think that's key. You saw a huge increase in overall apex on the 7 wood over a little bit of an increase in the 4-iron, swung at the same speed around 95 miles an hour. So I guess, what do you choose? I want to really encourage you to think what you're going to use that club for. Use it as a guide, as I say. If you're a lower swing speed player, really look for that club with a bigger back, a lower CG, to really aid you to get the golf ball up in the air. And I keep saying this, but it is a lot harder for higher swing speed players. But I would say this, right? Make it easier for yourself. Use a hybrid. I think it's a great middle ground between a 4-iron, which, yes, okay, looks good in the bag, but tends to be harder to hit. Going to be a much more versatile club. I think that's where I'll leave you in this video.